Good morning and welcome to America's Home Cooking. Since I'm going to be the only one home today, I'm not shopping today because of this cold that I have over this one eye. My body's fighting it beautifully. I don't have the fever and all the coughing that goes with it or all the aches and pains. My body is healthy enough that it's really fighting this. So it's contained right over this one eye. So I figured I'll stay in today because, well, I really didn't want to stay in, but what happened was they said we're going to get snow. And on this island, every taxi shuts down and I don't drive, so I can't go shopping today. So I'll probably be going Saturday or Sunday after this storm comes through. It was supposed to start last night, and now it's 8:30 in the morning, and as you can see, it's not doing anything yet. I would have been back by now because I go very early in the morning. But we're going to make wild rice and mushroom soup. Now, I don't have any wild rice, so I'm going to use brown rice in place of the wild rice. Now, let me see. This is going to be a bit tricky, so don't get upset. Okay, yeah, I think I can get 4 cups of water in this. It says to adjust the oven rack to the middle position and heat your oven to 375. Mine's in the middle. I just look to make sure I don't have anything in it because I'm notorious for drying things in there at times. All right. Now we want 375. Turn yours on, Sandra. Yeah, I'll get there. So I'm a little slower, disorientated a bit. Just understand, still fighting a cold, but I'll do my best. It says bring 4 cups of water. So we're going to need 4 cups of water. Let me get my measuring cups out. You're going to need a saucepan for this. There's your 4 cups of water. I'm putting them it's in a saucepan here. Okay. Now let's pray that I don't get this book wet. Okay. They want us to add thyme sprig. Now, depends upon what size. They come about like this. Okay. I should know I grow thyme, but I can't get my thyme now because of the season. So I'm going to assume that's about a half a teaspoon. All right, that should be just about enough that you'd get off a sprig. So, half a teaspoon of thyme. Wait till you see what's in this whole thing. You're not going to believe it. They want 1 whole bay leaf. Do not crunch it up. Just put it in whole. So get a nice big blade. Oh yeah, I'm gonna play. Now you know I'm gonna play. That's my character. I like to play and I like to have fun, as old as I am. Now they want us 1 whole garlic. Do not do anything but peel it and drop it in. I'm gonna have to get a paring knife. But like I said, just be patient with me today. Oh, these are big ones. Okay, paring knife. So just peel it and put it into the water. Wait till you hear what else we're going to put in this water. Okay, plop that in. 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. I am going to use iodized salt. I'm not using my mixture on this because I don't know what this is going to taste like till I play around with it a bit. I'm already playing around. I'm using brown rice instead of wild rice. If I can't find something, I just use what I can. And they want baking soda, 1/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda into the water. get this over here. I gotta get some of this stuff. I just don't have room. I got my cookbook here as well. Now they want us to bring this to a boil on a very high heat, and then we're going to add the rice to it. Now we need 1 cup of wild rice. I don't have any in the house. I usually have wild rice, but this time I don't. So I'm going to use brown rice. Now I know with wild rice it takes a lot longer to cook. Now we're going to be putting this into the oven, so I strongly recommend you make sure you've got a pot that you have it in, that you can, the handle and all can go into the oven. And I'm just warning you, that's all I'm doing. Because this, we're not going to move this pot. This pot's going directly in when we bring this to a boil. It's going into the oven. I'll rinse that rice before I put it in there. Okay, so I'm bringing this, you're gonna see my cookbook, but there's nothing I can do about that because I need the cookbook. So you're gonna have to be in the back here. Okay. Let's see. I'm sorry I can't bring you any closer than what I can do. Okay, while we're waiting for this to come to a boil, I'm going to put you back here. You don't have to see it boil. I'll just tell you what we're going to do. All right, I got the lid over there, okay. Okay, do what you have to do. All right, you're going to need shiitake, okay. All right, you need this kind of mushroom. S-H-I-I-T-A-K-E, okay? Gonna need that. Now, you're going to need 1/4 ounce. That is 3 tablespoons. And what you're gonna do is put it in a spice grinder and grind up until you have 3 tablespoons. I could not measure it out on my scale, so I sat there and grinded up a whole bunch until I got to what I needed. And I went a little over, so I just threw it into the compost. But anyway, that's what you're gonna need. You're gonna need these. I cannot pronounce it, and I'm afraid if I do pronounce it a certain way, it's gonna come out like a dirty word, so I just won't do that. Okay, I'm sure somebody on this channel will tell me the proper pronunciation of this, but you need 3 tablespoons of it ground to a powder. Put it to the side. Mine is to the side for now. We're just waiting until this water comes to a boil. I'm going to put the lid on and bring it to a boil. And then we'll continue marching forward. So that's pretty much it. Tick, 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 tick. Okay, you're going to also need some soy sauce. You're going to need black peppers. You're going to need chives. You're going to need dry sherry. You're going to need cornstarch. You're going to need mushrooms and onions and tomato paste and butter. And this is my lunch today, and it should help tremendously. So we've got a lot that we have to do to put this dish together, but this dish is so unique. I wouldn't want to miss out on this. I'm just sorry I don't have the wild rice. I know it takes longer to bake. If you have wild rice, by all means use it. Excuse me 1 minute. Oh, my poor nose hurts. Okay. Let me see what else we can do, if we can do anything. Okay, we're also gonna need a Dutch oven. I hope you have one. I have one. I only have one, but at least I have one. If I had more cabinets, believe you me, I would have a set of them. Well, you can buzz. You got to get the water boiling first. Okay, so in this cast Dutch oven, we are going to need to do. Where's the butter on this thing? We're going to need 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter in here. I have the butter. Believe me, I took everything out. I just have to find it. It's boiling, it's boiling. Now, if you're using white rice and you pick it up at a health food store, you are going to have to pick through it. I've done it, that's why I could say it. Okay, we have the rice in the water with the flavorings. We're putting in there. Do I have to bring it to a boil before we move it? Okay. All right, we have to bring it to a boil. Then we're going to cover this saucepan, and we're going to put it all into the oven. Okay, while we do the rest of this. So we can put 4 tablespoons of butter in here. That's a rice. We don't want it there right yet. Okay, it's boiling. Take your whole pot, lid and all. Make sure it can go in the oven and stick it into the oven. Now they want us to bake that rice for about anywhere from 35 to 50 minutes, so it's going to be in there a bit. We're going to move this to the burner. Now before I even start there, I got to see what I've got to chop on this. We're not ready to do that part. I have to wait till we get to another part. Mushrooms, onion, tomato paste, pepper, minced garlic. Okay. We need 1 pound of white mushrooms. They only come in 10-ounce containers in my store. So I am going to have to weigh them out. Yeah, I know that's 10. I don't have to tell them. My girlfriend, Lisa, works in the produce department. Oh, God. Okay, well, that can go there. Yeah, that takes you a little under 10, I knew it would. So when I can't find something, I always ask her. She's really good about, you know, letting me know if they can get it or not. Okay. 8 is 16. 8, 9. You want 1 pound? Oh, that's not there yet. I'm actually weighing it out right now. Yay! Got there. All right. Okay, they want 1 pound of these mushrooms, trimmed and sliced 1/4 inch. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean mine and start slicing mine up, and I will be back. Well, I'm chopping my mushrooms now. I guess you could buy the mushrooms already sliced if you wished. I'd rather, you know, but it costs more. If you want to save pennies, you're going to have to sit there and do it yourself. Always remember that. This is a very rich one, mushroom soup. I've done a mushroom with sherry in it already for you, or was it whiskey in it? Well, anyway, I gave you the recipe. But this is another one. Like I inform you all the time, I have a lot of recipes of some dishes, and they're each done differently. So you can pick your level that you wish to make. I sit there and go above my level sometimes cooking, you know. And I sit there and I play with recipes, trying to make them more nutritious. I know I get quiet when I'm doing this. So if the snow comes in on time, we will not have a white Christmas. If it's delayed till Christmas, we're going to have a white Christmas. But right now we're above 32. We're at 33 or 34. And I know snow doesn't stick, but the taxis shut down with a hint of snow. They shut them down on this island. I mean, they really do. And because I don't drive, it becomes a problem for me. Because I know I'm a bad driver. At least I can admit it. Most people won't admit that, but I can. I am a bad driver. I'm a leadfoot from Texas. And my girlfriend even sat there and said, Sandy, you've been on this island so long, you've got to call yourself an islander. And I said, I can't do that. She said, look, you've got your sons at this age. You've been on this island over 40 years. And I said, no, I have not. I have been traveling with my husband a lot. And it's only recently that I've been out here. She said, oh, I thought you'd been out here all this time. I said, no. No, my sons were not born on this island. I hope they're working in the yard, in the street in front of my home again. Okay, we got the mushrooms done now. They're done. Got them all chopped. Let's see if I have to chop anything else before we go much further. Onion, what do they want me? Okay, we need 1 onion chopped. This is the size onion I'm using. I need a bigger knife. I have a lot of stocks. That's why I'm not concerned about saving these. It's so cold, you know, you can't open the ground to bury it. So the city's getting it. And in the spring, when you go to get your fertilizer, you're buying what you gave them all winter long. Just recycling. I let the yard do that for me as much as it can, but once we hit the cold weather, it can't. So I pretty much know that. All right, they want this chopped and thrown in with the mushrooms, so that's what we're going to do. Not cut your fingers down. Okay. Now I have to bring something to your attention. I heard somebody say that there's sauté meat. You do not saute meat. You only saute vegetables, which means you're pre-cooking them before you put the dish together. Okay? That's what you're doing. You brown meat, you braise meat, but you do not, never saute. There's so many people out there that just don't know the language of cooking, and when I get recipes from them, I'm like, oh, I have to figure out what they're talking about. It's very confusing. And they don't want to give me the complete recipe to see if I can figure it out. You know, all right, I think we need more chopping, so hold on. In here it tells me, because the list is like that long. Okay. All right, we have to mince, how much garlic? We need to mince 4 cloves of garlic. Remember what mince means. It means finely chopped. 2, 3, 4. I don't need any more, so we'll put this over there. Peel them and get them minced. So be aware. My cold's breaking. It's giving me a bit of problem. I'll be right back. So this is why there was a universal language of cooking. And then all of a sudden, people come in and say, I'm going to make cookbooks and stuff, and they don't know the terminology, and they mess it up. And then these people are cooking and doing what they see and assuming That's the terminology that goes to that action, and this is where people make mistakes, and then you look like an idiot, and you don't want to look like an idiot. It's better if you ask a question, you know, because then it says you're willing to learn properly. Now, if you want to chop like a chef, I'm not, okay? Your thumb and your little finger are going to be what pushes it forward, okay? And the knife rests against here. So you really have your fingers like this. There's no way that you could sit as you chop. You're not going to cook because your thumb's not going to be out here, and your little finger, you're not going to have them like this. You have them like this. You see how straight it is? That's how you have it. But these two fingers, your thumb and little finger in the back, pushing the food forward. So they can learn in time. As you do that, you can get faster and faster. I'm not concerned about that. I think at 71 at this point, if I want to take my time, I can take my time. You know, I'm not cooking for a restaurant or anything else. And that's how they do it. And when they started out doing it, they were very slow, and they kept chopping and chopping till they got faster at it. I've seen people burn their hands and cut their fingers and everything, and these are people that are working in restaurants and stuff. Okay, it's still cooking. Remember, 35 to 50 minutes for your rice. I know mine's going to be done probably in a shorter time because I'm using brown rice. But I know brown rice takes longer than white rice, and the one that takes the longest is wild rice. But the flavor, the nutty flavor of it is so good. Finding it is difficult. I used to buy it by the pounds. I mean, I would go in and say 10 pounds, please. I had a deep freezer, and I would drop it all in a big container and just stick it in the freezer. And I had my whole grains in there and the meats and everything else. Come on, get off my hand. I was teaching my son how to choose your wines properly. I told him you have to think of the flavor of the meat. And you try to match up knowing your wines accordingly. So one flavor doesn't outstand. Like if you have a very strong wine and you have fish, you're not going to be able to really taste the fish because the wine is going to overtake it in flavor. Every time you sip as you eat, the wine will kill the fish flavor. Or if your meat is really strong and you do a wine that isn't as strong, the meat takes over. So when you think about it, this is definitely for the men who date women, young ladies. You have to know that. If you cook, you have to know somewhat of that as well. The rules are, you know, you learn those. But you should know your wines. So when you take a young lady to dinner, whatever is ordered, think of the flavor of that meat and all, and match the wine up to it as well, so one doesn't overpower the other. Always do it like that. And by the way, my older son hates chicken livers. The chicken livers with peas over risotto. He loved it. He said, Mommy, that was good, but where's the salt? I said, I know. They didn't want any salt on the liver. They wanted it in the rice. So salt is a drawing compound, and it would draw a lot of flavor out of the liver. So I think that they didn't want you to add the salt to the liver, but add it to the rice or after the dish is cooked. So therefore you had that flavor of the wine with the liver and all. And I think that's why it was like that. And he hates chicken livers. And he said, Mommy, you can make that dish again. So that was really nice that he said that. And by the way, he said my curry yesterday wasn't hot enough for him. Of course, my mouth was burning, but his wasn't. But he said, you got those flavors down really good. I said, I was measuring it for everybody. I didn't know if it was going to come out. Okay, what else do we have to do? Okay, you want pepper with it? All right, how much pepper are we going to put in this? We need a teaspoon of pepper added to all of this. We're just going to put it right on top. Let's put it in the pot that way. What else do you want on top of this? Tomato paste. Where's the tomato paste? All right, we want 1 teaspoon. Where's my tomato paste? Here it is. Okay. Yes, I try everything. When I cook, I'm going to eat my way through it. All right, now we got all this chopped. Let me just see what else we have to do. Okay, you want 3/4 of salt as well. Okay, we need 3/4 salt. Okay. Anything else in this? Okay, we're going to learn another cooking terminology because you won't know it. All right, I'll read the instructions and I'll explain exactly what the word means. All right, we've got all of this chopped up. We're getting ready to put it there. And it says we're going to cook, stirring occasionally until the vegetables are browned and a dark fond develops on the bottom of a pot, about 15 minutes. Fond is like the browning that you see that sticks to the pan. That's exactly what it means, okay? So now we're going to melt the butter in our Dutch oven, and I'm going to try to get you over here and not knock you on the floor. Okay? So I got my 4 tablespoons of butter in here, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. Don't forget that you have the rice in the oven. What are you doing? Oh, they want it over high heat. Okay, Dutch oven's going over high heat. So we'll get this butter melted. Whee! It's almost like skating, but your finger does the job. How much stock do you want in this? All right, how much? You're gonna also need to put to the side 2/3 of a cup of sherry. I had been measuring. So you want a dry sherry, 2/3 of a cup. I told you this is a very good mushroom. It's a little more involved than the other one I gave you, but you're not going to be disappointed with either one of them. There's only one dish I gave you that I was disappointed with. And I didn't hide it. When the woman said, "Are you sure?" I said, "Look, it's not my favorite. My family doesn't even like it." And that was that cod with all of the breadcrumbs on it. That was horrible. I would not put that much breadcrumbs on it, and I think it would do better with flavor. So I had stated, because a woman said, "Are you sure?" And I said, "Listen, it was not our favorite, but it was too many breadcrumbs." See, my family doesn't eat breadcrumbs normally, but because the dish required a lot of breadcrumbs, I gave the breadcrumbs to that. Let's see, it was a baked cod. No, it wasn't the casserole one. This was a different one I got out of the cookbook. Not the last one. The last one came out delicious. We love that one with the dill, cheddar cheese and dill topping. That was fantastic. But this was a dish early on. We did not like it. Okay. Dump it all in. Now remember, we're going to get some browning on the bottom of the pot. We're not going to be concerned about it. We're just going to mix all this up. That's what I'm doing right now. So the tomato paste is in one area, but they want this on a high flame. Okay. Now we're going to cook. We're going to get this out of the way. You never heat a Dutch oven up unless you have some sort of oil or butter, because my personal opinion, I think they glaze a cast iron, and that's what they call a Dutch oven. This cookware. All right, so you want 4 cups of chicken broth. Chicken broth and bone broth, so they use both. Now they want 4 cups of chicken broth, but I had chicken broth and bone broth, so I stuck them together. I didn't care what they said. So always be careful with your Dutch oven that you don't chip it or anything. I mean, you have to let the pot cool before you clean it. You know, there's certain rules that you don't want to break or chip these, because if you chip them, it becomes a weakness in it. I'm going to need a measuring cup for this. Okay. Check this. And don't be stupid like me and grab the handle without a pot holder. I've done it and hurt my hands. Okay, I want to taste this rice. My rice is done. So, while this is doing this number, you're going to take your rice and strain it. I'm going to move you over here so you can see what I'm doing. Don't worry, it's a bit crowded, I told you it is, as long as you can deal with that. Now, if you have fresh thyme, they want you to take the sprig out of the thyme. They want you to take the bay leaf out, and they want you to take the garlic out. Now, you're going to have to look for the garlic. Okay, here's my garlic. I found it. And discard them, okay? Now, they want you to have exactly, how much water do they want? 3 cups, all right? I don't quite have 3 cups here, so they said add cold water to bring it up to 3 cups. Oh my God, I got everything out. So measure it out till it hits 3. Okay. We have the rice ready. We have this. I'm just going to set this over this. We got the bone broth. We've got the sherry ready, and we're just taking care of this, the mushrooms. They want this. All right. All right, we're still cooking the mushrooms and stuff. So we have to wait for that. I'll bring you back over here, but you'll see what I'll be adding now. As we get all this done. What we're actually doing is cooking out the liquid out of the mushroom, and they want it to sort of brown on the bottom of your Dutch oven. I know when my son gets up and he smells eggs, I said, Mommy, can I? I said, no, I only got 1 thermos, and you said coffee. So this is going to be really nice. I knew that handle would be hot. Dang it, Sandy. See if I can turn you down a little more so you can see. It's drying out. We pretty much got a lot done. You take the sherry, the 2/3 cup of sherry, pour it in. Stir it around. This is deglazing. This is exactly what we're doing. We are deglazing what stuck to the bottom of the pot. So when you hear deglaze a pot of something, you're usually adding a liquid to it. They'll sit there and bring up the bits and pieces that stick to the bottom, which are your drippings. Now we're going to cook this till almost dry. Okay, now I want you to add 1 tablespoon of soy sauce to the liquid that you cooked the rice in. Just 1 tablespoon. And you notice we're still on high. This smells so good. The flavor of the mushroom with the sherry and the thyme. Well, not with the thyme, the mushrooms and the onions and stuff, the garlic. With the sherry smells so good in here. They really do. Okay, now we're gonna add everything. The mushrooms, the shiitake mushrooms. I spelled it for you. Chicken stock. I have bone broth and chicken stock together here, so mine's darker, which is 4 cups. And water from the rice. You're probably saying, are we done yet? No, not yet. This has to cook now. And that will take about 20 minutes. All right, so we're gonna be cooking this for about 20 minutes. And I've got to clean some dishes up. Okay, where's that measuring cup? All right, you're gonna need, you're holding the rice for now, so just leave it to the side. What you're going to need now is 1/4 of a cup of cold water. To the 1/4 of your cup of water, you are going to add 1/4 of a cup. What? You want that much? Whisk cornstarch and uranium, both a cup of water together. All right, you're also going to need 1/4 of a cup of cornstarch added to your water. Okay, 1/4 of a cup. Okay, that's 4 tablespoons, I remember. We'll rinse this off. So to that 1/4 of a cup of water, you're going to add 1/4 of a cup of cornstarch and mix it thoroughly. Okay, we're done with that now. And whisk it thoroughly together. You can see all the flavors coming into this. This is really interesting. Okay, we got that. Put that to the side. You just bring this to a boil. I already have it on high, so I can go for now. Once it comes to a boil, we're going to turn it down to simmer and just let it cook. Now on the lemon and heavy cream, yeah, we got all that going too. shopping and come back twice. Oh, there goes somebody. Okay, I need my other spoon somewhere. Oh, here. No, that's not it. Yeah, this is the one I want. Yeah, this is my heavy cream. When you do heavy cream, you'll have a topping on the top of it. It just makes it all back up and it's just fine. I'll show you. You see? I have some of it here. Just push it down. I could take a whisk if I wanted and just blend it back up and it would be back just like heavy cream's supposed to be. But I'm not worried about it. Still not boiled yet. And how much lemon do you want? How much chives? All right, they want 1/4 of a cup of chives, which is a tablespoon and a teaspoon. I'm gonna put it in with my cornstarch. That's a good place to put it. So if you have dry chives, it's 1 tablespoon and 1 teaspoon will be the exact amount that you need. My chives are hibernating right now, so I can't use them right now. Okay, and the lemon zest that they want, how much? Lemon zest, they want 1/4 of a teaspoon, finely grated. I have a half a lemon, so I'll use it. You know what? I'm going to put it on the rice. Oh, that's not even making a dent yet. Okay, Once it comes to a boil, turn it down to simmer, and you're going to cook it for about 20 minutes. Or till the mushrooms and onion are really ready. So they'll be very soft. I know I'm quiet. You're probably saying she's thinking. Yes, I am. I'm just trying to use all of this. You know, when I showed you how to do the bone broth and I broke the bone, that's what happens to your bones if you don't. That's what actually happens to your bones. I'm going to say it. I know you're not going to like it. I didn't like it either, but, you know, if you drink and take drugs, this is what happens to your bones. Then you get hip replacements, or the long bones break, and everything else. You think about it. Animals do not drink liquor. Well, Tara was an exception. She loved rum and Coke. Don't ask me where she ever got that flavor from. That dog would steal to get rum and Coke, and she would give you her best toys just to get it. She was crazy. But she was unique. The thing is that destroys your bones, okay? So when you saw me break the rib bones and stuff, that's what your bones look like. Osteoarthritis, all of that. Those bones are brittle like that. So you think God doesn't give you a bad body. We just abuse the heck out of it, that's all. And like the elderly said, your body is going to remember everything you've ever done to it. And when you get old, that's the price. And I know people don't want to hear it because they like to have their beer, they like to have their wine, they like to drink, and all. But it also ages. Like they're also saying, oh, just put this on your face, it'll give you back your youth. You know, you'll look younger and stuff. There's so many lies out there, I couldn't even begin to tell you all of them. I know that your body, if you want your skin to look healthy and stuff as you get older, I know you have to get lanolin into it, because lanolin is the only thing that absorbs all the way into all the layers of skin on your face. The makeup has glycerin, and that only puts water on the top of your face. But if you sit there and use an oil like I do, the cream that I put on my face, when you go to put makeup on, you're going to wash that off and then put your foundation on. You're poisoning your skin as much as you don't want to hear it. That is what it does. It's going to age you anyway because it dries your skin out. You can't get around it. And when you start looking at what's in makeup, it really upsets people. I know this. I always know when I hit a nerve with somebody, they leave the page because they don't want to hear that. But you've got to take care of the body, because when you get older, you can be young, do what you want now, wait till you get up there. That body is going to bite you on your backside, as they used to say. And I listened to them. They told me, my grandmother, she loved to chew tobacco. She had a spittoon in the kitchen next to the stove, and she'd go, and she'd set the tobacco and everything in her mouth, and she gnawed on tobacco. She loved it. I saw her spit one day, and I was a little girl, so I went behind her and went like a little girl would do, right? That was the end of her. She quit chewing tobacco at that point, but it was too late. She already did the damage to her body. And people don't realize it. And they blame God, and they suffer. And do you really want to suffer in old age? I don't think anybody wants to suffer in old age. I know personally, I do not. I mean, when my doctor gets a smile on his face when he sees me and he finds something, I sit there and say, oh boy. All right, you got the heavy cream. I told you about the chives. You got the cornstarch and water mixture, and we got the rice, and that's what we're going to be putting in there. This has such a unique smell compared to the other one that I made. Well, anyway, always remember, whatever you do in your life, if you don't make a correction on it and get your body back where it should be, there's a lot of things that we can do and the body can take a reversal on it. But the problem is it takes 7 years. So it takes 7 years for every cell in your body to be replenished. So if you sit there to be replaced, I mean, so if you don't eat well during those 7 years or a day or two, what happens is the cells that were going to be replaced, those replacement cells are not as healthy as the cells that you have. Then another 7 years go and your body keeps on replacing these cells and stuff, and if you don't eat well again, once again it happens. And then after, because let's see, I'm on 10. Because I'm 71, I have done 7 cells replacements, and I'm going into my 8th, and this is just my first year of the 8th. So if your cells, by the time you hit your let's say 35, because that'd be 5 lifetimes, 5 replacements of the cells all over your body, you can sit there and look in the mirror, and if you're starting to look old, you know you have damaged your body. I'm not saying it, the body is saying it. It's just that people would rather blame God and say it's his fault that I didn't get a healthy body, or that he's done this. But it isn't. It's your actions and what you have done with your body. You can't hide it. You can't dice it. There's nothing you can do. I mean, it's there. If you take steps to repair it, and remember, it's not a one-day thing. This would have to be something that you'd have to do. So by the time, if you eat well every day, you would sit there and see, well, let's see, if it took 5, by the time you get around my age, you'd be looking better. But it doesn't happen overnight, and it's not going to happen in a 7-year cycle. It takes a lot of cycles. Each cell that's replaced has to be healthier than the previous one. This is where aging comes. We're aging ourselves. We take medicines, we take drugs, we take alcohol. They're putting preservatives, and our body is being bombarded day in and day out. And this is why we are aging so fast. That's why I said, if I was going to use anybody, I was going to use my body. I wasn't going to hurt an animal, and I wasn't going to hurt another person. I felt I was going to do this. I was going to practice on myself. And it worked, which surprised me. I didn't know if it would, but it did. People say, oh, I eat healthy. Oh, I loved it. I love it when people sit there and say, I eat healthy. And I look at them, do I eat healthy? I'll tell you this way. I eat as healthy as I can, and every day I try to do better than the day before. And I love it when people sit there and say I'm healthy. I go, mm-hmm. And they're on medication. They're telling me they're healthy. Mm-hmm. I'm on 0 medication. My husband, when I was real sick, I had to take medication while they repaired my body from what was done to it. That I never took it again, but they had to give me a lot of, in surgery they had to clean my cavity out. I was a mess, believe it or not. And for a short while I was on medicines and stuff, but once I got well, I just kept going. So you have to think about that. You can't blame anybody for the way you look in old age, except that person who looks back at you in a mirror. I made a terrible mistake, which cost, like I said, my husband, because I thought I was working with the medicine, and I found out the medicine was blocking everything I was doing. So I lost him. Now, what you're going to do, you know that cornstarch and water. Well, I added my chives. I'm going to put them in now. And you're going to stir it around and watch it get thick. And you're going to put the rice in with the 1/4 of a teaspoon of lemon zest. Oh, come on, rice. Everything's going into the pot. And you're going to be adding, how much cream? 1/2 cup of heavy cream. That's what I've got to do now, is add the cream. We'll heat it up, and that is it. See if I can get you over here. I just added everything I told you. There is nothing more to add in to this dish. Don't worry, the heavy cream will melt as it gets hot. See, the heavy cream melted? That's all you had to do, nothing else. Now we're going to stir this and heat it up for about another 2 minutes. Then we're going to turn the flame off, put the lid, and let it sit. Then, before you serve this, you adjust it with your salt and pepper. Yeah. We're just warming everything up. That's it. There's nothing else to do but the salt and pepper taste to your taste. It smells so good. I have friends that don't like mushroom, and I said, oh my God, you don't know what you're missing. And I have that French bread that I made, sourdough, and that's what I'm going to have with mine. And I am going to enjoy it. And I made my modified butter. You know what else would go nice with this? Wine. I would use a rosé or a white dry. It would go very, very nice with this if you wanted to have wine with this. Okay. Gonna let it sit for 10 minutes. And then adjust it for salt and pepper. And then I'll say, enjoy. How's that? Okay, listen, you take care and have a great day.